Hello Anjali. Yeah, hello dear students. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We'll wait for 3-4 minutes. Let other also join. So have you attended your first class, dear students? So dear all, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We'll wait for 1-2 minutes and then we'll start. So still students are joining. Yeah, good morning all. So shall we start now? Please mute your mic. I request all to please mute your mic. So that we will have better bandwidth. Am I audible? You may write in chat box. Yeah, okay. We'll start. So you all are aware of this subject, what you are going to learn with me. It is microprocessor and microcontroller. The code is KEC 502 and 100 marks subject it is. So you all know me. I am Shahnaz Ayub. I will be the teacher for this subject for you. And we will start this subject with like in previous years it was in 5th semester it was only microprocessor and microcontroller was there in 6th semester, but Now from this years onwards, as we are following AKTU syllabus, both the subjects are merged together, and now the subject is microprocessor and microcontroller. So how many participants now? 38 have joined. Let others also join, and then we'll start with the so my screens are visible to you? Are my screens visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, who would like to be the coordinator for this particular course? Has Sakshi joined? Sakshi has joined or
Yes,
not?
ma'am.
Sakshi, you will be the coordinator.
Yes, ma'am.
You can keep your mic on. So whenever I will ask, you may answer me the things accordingly. Because if all are keeping their mic on, then there will be a chaos. So my screens are visible to
Okay,
all. My
ma'am.
screens are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will move further. I think many of us, 38, 37 students have joined. So let others also join. So you had your first class. You had your first class 9 a.m. First
No,
class
ma'am.
was there. Okay. So we will start with this. This is the subject KAC 502 microprocessor and microcontroller. In microprocessor, we will be learning 8085 microprocessor in detail, and in microcontroller, we will be learning 8051 microcontroller in detail, and we will be having some part of 8086 microprocessor also. So I think you all must be aware about microprocessor, microcontroller.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll start with this. Let me, if you really want to achieve something, the whole universe conspires to help you in achieving it. So you don't have to miss your classes. You have to be regular, and I will mark your attendance also. There are certain instructions which I will put in chat box. You also can put in chat box whatever questions you are having. Let's have a look on the books which you are going to refer. We will be referring. There are many books for this particular subject, and you can refer the material from internet also. You can refer my notes also, but the books which I prefer, which I use, this is Microprocessor Architecture, Programming and Applications with 8085 by Ramesh Gaokar. The edition is Penram edition, and publisher is Penram Publisher. And for microcontroller, I will be using 8051 microcontroller, internals, instructions, programming and interfacing by Subrata Ghoshal. The publication is Pearson publication, and we have few introductory part of 8086 microprocessor. So for that, we will be using the book Architecture, Programming and Interfacing by Sunil Mathur. The publication is Kindle edition. So I think this is clear to you. You can use any book, you can use any material available on the net. You can go with the Swayam MOOC courses also, and from that also you can download the material. But if I have to use the books, I refer this particular books. So moving further, am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there are few instructions. You have to put your attendance in chat box, but right now not. Whenever I will instruct you that you have to write your name in chat box, that time only you will write the name in chat. That time only you will submit with the attendance. So the students whose roll numbers are starting from 18 and following some digits, they have to write their last digits, like whoever is having 18 roll number, 56 roll number kind of. And the students whose roll number are starting from 17, they can write their last 4 digits, and they can the students who are from lateral entry, they can write their roll number as 901 and followed by your name. And whoever is using this Zoom platform through mobile, if their name is written with the mobile name, they have to rename their name and they have to make their name as it is appearing in your attendance sheet, or it is appearing in your listed registered list. If you have any questions, you can raise. I will put your mic on. Otherwise, you can write the questions in chat box, and later on after the class, we will, in last 5 minutes, we will take the questions. So we will just have to follow these particular instructions because we are going online, and during online, we have to be careful with the bandwidth problem. If we are keeping our mic and cameras off, then we can save a lot, we can utilize our bandwidth properly. So let me go ahead with what are we going to do today. The contents of this particular lecture slides, it is not for the whole course, it is just for this particular lecture. We will be going through the introduction of microprocessor and microcontroller. We will see the basics of both, and we will see the course objectives, like why we are learning this particular course, what are the objectives, what are the outcomes, what you will gain after learning this particular course. Because you have to be attentive, you must know that why you are studying this particular course. If objectives are not clear, if outcomes are not there, then there is no meaning learning any particular course or any particular subject. So here course means we refer to subject. Then we will talk little about programming. I request all the participants to please mute your mic. So we will see what is course outcomes. What are course outcomes? Course outcomes are the outcomes which you will gain after studying, after learning the whole course. And each and every subject or each and every course is having certain outcomes. Without outcomes, there is no meaning in studying this particular course. So we will see what are the course outcomes of our subjects. We will not go through the, like, we will study the introduction, we will study this, we will study that. It is not only the study, we have to be able to apply whatever we study. So for this particular subject, what are the course outcomes? The course outcomes are: first outcome is apply the basic principles of microprocessor and microcontroller based design and development. Second is apply the knowledge of fundamentals of microprocessor and microcontroller programming and interfacing technology to solve engineering problems. Third course outcome is apply the knowledge of microprocessor and microcontroller programming using modern tools for interfacing. Fourth outcome is design a microprocessor and microcontroller based functional prototype for real world applications. And fifth outcome is undertake problem identification, formulation, and selection of appropriate device, either microprocessor or microcontroller, for any particular application. So if you go through it carefully, there is no word like understand this, remember this, because when you go through the taxonomy levels, Bloom's taxonomy levels, in graduate engineering programs, we do not have the outcomes or objectives which will start from understand and remember. It is understood that these are basic levels, understand and remember. Unless you understand and remember, you will not be able to apply the concepts. So if you must have all studied Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law is nothing but voltage is equal to current into resistance. We all know this formula. So if I ask you the question that state Ohm's law, and instead of that, if I ask you that voltage is this much and current is this much, so you have to find out the value of resistance. So if you know the Ohm's law properly, you will be able to calculate. You know that V is equal to IR. So for calculating resistance value, you have to divide the voltage value with current value, and you can find out the resistance value. This is what Ohm's law. If you can solve this particular problem, then there is no need of that you should state the Ohm's law properly. Statement, even if you are not able to state it properly word to word, you don't have to rectify, you don't have to mug up the things. If you are able to apply the concepts, that is what is required in engineering. So that's why whatever outcomes we have decided, we have not, you must be seeing here, there is no such word understand, remember. We all will try to apply whatever we learn in this particular subject. Whatever programming we will do, whatever hardware we will learn, we will try to learn to develop some prototypes, some devices, some solutions for our day-to-day life problems, or maybe for some bigger problems, or maybe for current problems, or maybe for some project work or etc. you will do. Let me tell you very frankly, 8085 and 8051 microcontroller, though they are old microcontrollers, still we are having that in our study. Why? Because if we understand the basics of this particular microprocessor and microcontroller, then you can easily work on other microprocessors and other microcontrollers. So that's why this subject is still there in your syllabus. And during my BTech also, we have studied this subject. We have studied 8085 microcontroller, microprocessor. We were not having microcontroller that time in our syllabus, but still 8051 microcontroller is also not that new microcontroller. But we are studying this so that you will be clear with the concepts of microprocessors and microcontrollers and their applications, so you will be able to use any new microcontroller or microprocessors. So latest microcontrollers are MSP 430. You can go with that particular microcontroller also, but in this particular subject we will be studying 8051 microcontroller. The students who are good in C programming, they can use C programming, but the students, am I audible now? Am I audible? Students, am I audible? Is my voice, am I audible now? Anybody is there? Vivek, can you put your mic? Can you put your mic on? Vivek, can you put your mic on? Am I audible, Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
So where were you? You were not answering my question, whatever I was asking. So when we'll see some few parts, like before proceeding further with the subject, we will see why we are learning this, why we should know this course outcomes. Because while you will be graduating, you will be having some, you should develop some graduate attributes in you. This is what accreditation, or this is what NBA is prescribing. So there are 12 graduate attributes that students should have, students should develop while graduating through their 4 years of course. So to reach to this particular achievement of graduate attributes, we are having some program outcomes. This program means your BTech Electronics and Communication Engineering. So this program is having 12 graduate attributes as outcomes, and to achieve this particular outcomes, we have to have some course outcomes, and through this course outcomes should map with this program outcomes. There should be some correlation of this course outcomes and program outcomes. So then only we will be able to achieve this program outcomes, and then only we will be achieve mission and vision of our department and of our institute. So that's why we should know what are the course outcomes of our subject. So if I go further, I have mentioned that there are 12 graduate attributes, and these are called as program outcomes. So while graduating after 4 years of this graduation, you should be having this particular attributes. What are these attributes? Let me take very shortly. You should be aware of these terms: graduate attributes, program outcomes, course outcome. So before starting with our proper course, I will just let you know these particular terms. So these 12 graduate attributes are: engineering knowledge. You should have engineering knowledge. You should be able to use physics, chemistry, mathematics knowledge. You should be able to do the analysis of problem. You should be able to design and develop the systems for particular solutions. You should be able to investigate the complex problem. You should be able to use modern tools like whatever MATLAB, etc., whatever are modern tools. You should be able to use those particular tools. You should work for society. You should be able to adjust in society. You should take care of environment and sustainability. You should follow ethics. You should develop ethics, professional ethics, and human values and professional ethics. You should be able to work as an individual. You should be able to work as a team. You should have good communication skill. Then only you will be able to disperse your knowledge. You will be able to communicate with others. You will be able to give your knowledge, spread your knowledge among society and among your peer group. You should be keep on lifelong. You should be in lifelong learning. You should always keep learning lifelong. It is not that I have completed my graduation, so I will stop my learning. But everybody has to learn. It should be a lifelong process. So this and the last one is you should be able to manage whatever project. Here project is not only your BTech project. Any task given to you is your project. So you will be able to manage the project. You should be able to finance, manage the finance of that particular project. So these are the 12 attributes which are required, and to meet this particular 12 attributes, we were having those course outcomes. So now moving further, what is our subject? Our subject is microprocessor and microcontroller. So if you see, one word is common, micro, and then it is processor, and in microcontroller it is controller. So what is the basic meaning? Why do you think that this micro word is there? Because these particular devices, they operate in the frequency of megahertz. So if we see megahertz in timings, how much is the timing? The timing is in microseconds. Megahertz, 1 upon megahertz is in microsecond. So these particular devices, their clock is working in megahertz frequency. So the timing of their work, the execution timing of each and every instruction is in microseconds. So that's why the name is microprocessor or microcontroller. Now what is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller? Previously there were no microcontrollers. The first device which was designed was microprocessor. So it is assumed that, or it is the case that it is processing certain instructions, certain tasks. So that's why it is labeled as microprocessor. But microprocessor is only having the only has the instruction set. It doesn't have its own devices, input output devices, or its memory, internal memory. it is handicapped without these devices. It is a single chip which also looks like this microcontroller. The microcontroller and microprocessor, the chips, both the chips look like similar, but microprocessor is not having any input output devices internal. It is not having any memory internally available. It is only having its internal circuitry to work on instructions. It is only having its instruction set. You can write the program, but if you want to input certain things, if you want to output certain things, then you have to interface the external devices. If you want to store the data in memory, you have to interface these memory devices, either RAM or EEPROM, to microprocessor. But it is not the case in microcontroller. In microcontroller, you have all the things which is inbuilt in your system. So what are they? You have few input devices, that is ports. You have few output devices. You have few memory. Maybe it may be in small capacity, maybe 4K or 2K. It may be 128 bytes of RAM or 256 bytes of RAM. But to some smaller quantities, it is having the memory, RAM, EEPROM, input devices and output devices. So if you want to build small prototype or small project, or if you want to design a small system, then you can use microcontroller, because here you don't have to interface the external input output devices, or you don't have to interface the external RAM or EEPROM. Everything is available in the chip itself. So that's why it is labeled differently from microprocessor, and it is labeled as microcontroller, because it is also working on megahertz crystal frequency. That's why it is also, the timing of instructions executions is in microseconds. So that's why it is also called as microcontroller. So I think I have made it to clear the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Microprocessor is only having instruction set. It is not having its own input output devices or its own internal RAM or EEPROM. But microcontroller is having its own RAM, EEPROM and input output devices. So you don't have to depend upon external input output devices. But the capacity of this input output devices and the capacity of RAM and EEPROM available with microcontrollers are less. So that's why if you have to go with bigger applications, then you have to go with the computer system. But if your application is smaller enough, you can use a single chip microcontroller. So in short, microcontroller is also called as mini computer, because you have everything with you. So when we'll see the programming, basically in this particular course, you can use C programming also, you can use assembly language programming also. But whatever is your syllabus there, it is given in assembly language. So we will study assembly language instructions for both microprocessor and microcontroller. So whatever instruction we write, that is called as instruction. And a program is a set of few instructions which is having a meaningful objective, which is giving you some meaningful outcome or output. So that is called as program, which is a set of instruction. And what is this instruction? It is nothing but a mnemonic. Mnemonic means we use this particular type, like if you want to, there are registers in microprocessor and microcontrollers. Now to start with, we will not study microcontroller right now. We will start with 8085 microprocessor. So henceforth, whatever we will refer, that is referred to 8085 microprocessor. So these instructions, they belong to 8085 microprocessor. if I write the instruction like this, we will study all the instructions in detail. This is just to make you aware that what is instruction and what is mnemonic. So if I write the instruction as move B, C, that means the data of C registered is transferred to moved to B registered. So we do not write MOVE. MOVE is a word in English to move the data. But in mnemonic or in 8085 assembly language programming, it is labeled as MOV, move. So move means the data is transferred from where to where. This is your source and this is your destination. So from source, that source is C register. From C register, the data is transferred to B register. And next instruction is MVI A comma immediate data. This hash sign indicates that this is the immediate data. If I write over here 38, that means 38 hex value will go into accumulator register. So I stands for immediate. So moving immediate. So these are the mnemonics. You don't have to remember the mnemonics, but while practicing the programs, you yourself will understand and you yourself will able to remember these particular instructions. So these instructions are little different for microcontrollers. The format is little different, and microprocessor doesn't understand move B, C or MVI A, hash data. This is for us because we cannot remember all the opcodes. So but microprocessor understand this 41 hex opcode which is assigned for move B, C. When it decodes this particular opcode 41, it comes to know that it has to transfer the data from C register to B register. So this is the language which microprocessor understands, and this is the language which we understand to write the program. So we will, whenever we will study the programs in detail, we will study all the instructions in detail. So let us move ahead and we will see the like what is basics of binary. You all must be knowing, you must have studied in digital electronics. Bit is a single binary digit, either it is 0 or it is 1. And what is a combination of bits? If we refer to 8-bit, there are capacities of microprocessor in terms of data handling of data bits. If it is handling 8 bits of data, that is 1 byte of data, then the microprocessor or microcontroller is 8-bit microcontroller or microprocessor. If at a time it is able to handle 16-bit of data, then it is called as 16-bit microprocessor or 16-bit microcontroller. So whatever we have in this particular course, microprocessor 8085 and microcontroller 8051, both are 8-bit processors or microcontroller, because they are at a time they can handle 8-bit of data. So what is the word size of microcontroller and microprocessor which we are studying? That is the capacity of this particular microcontroller, or we call this as a 8-bit microprocessor, or we call this as a 8-bit microcontroller. But after studying 8085 microprocessor and 8051 microcontroller, we will study 16-bit microprocessor, that is 8086 microprocessor. So for that the structure will be different, and for that the instructions will be different. So I think now the word meaning is clear to you. If I refer word, then word stands for the basic data size or bit size that can be processed by the arithmetic and logic unit of the processor. So what is the word size of 8085 microprocessor? It is 8-bit. What is the word size of 8051 microcontroller? It is 8-bit. So moving ahead, we will be using some terminologies, like we will be, as I told you, that there is no input output device to microprocessor, there is no internal RAM or ROM to microprocessor, but to operate, to connect the device to input devices, output devices, memory devices, to transfer the data, to receive the data, you will be needing some buses. And what are these buses? This bus is called as a group of wires, that is group of lines that carry the similar information. All these buses, these are parallel buses because it is a parallel operation. There is no serial communication happening with this particular 8085 microprocessor. If you have to work in serial communication mode, then you have to connect some RS-232 port, and then you have to work with some serial communication interfacing devices. But here we will go through the, here we will refer the word bus, and it is a combination of wires. So there is address bus, which carries the address, which is a unique binary pattern used to identify a memory location or an input output port. Suppose if I want to refer to some particular memory location, then how will I refer to that particular location? It has to have address. Suppose if in your class there are two Aman present, I don't know how many students are there with the similar names. Who is there with similar name in your class? Sakshi or anybody can tell me who is there with the similar name? How
Vivek
many?
Pandey and Vivek Upadhyay.
Vivek. Okay, good. So Vivek and both are Vivek. So if I call them, if I call in class, Vivek, please answer, then how the Vivek will know how that particular Vivek will know that he has to answer? Unless until I take the full name. So if I take the full name, the Vivek will understand. But suppose if there are two students with exactly the same name and exactly the same surname, if let's say both are Vivek Pandey, then how will I differentiate? If I call Vivek Pandey, then one Vivek will answer, both the Viveks will answer. But this is not the case. So to differentiate this particular, then what option I have? I have the option of calling with the address. I should know their address, that which Vivek I am calling. Is suppose both are living, both are in third year, so both will live, so whenever they will join the college, they will live in Panchvati hostel. But both may not live in the same room. They may be living in the different room, so they may be having their room address, and by with that particular address we can differentiate their we can differentiate different. Yeah, okay, Vivek, you can put your Vivek Pandey. You can unmute yourself. Where is Vivek Pandey? Okay. Yeah, Vivek, you are unmuted now. You can ask your question. Vivek, you are asking some question. Yeah, I was unmuting you. Yeah, I have unmuted all. You can ask your question, Vivek. You have raised the hand. Okay, if there is no question, we will move ahead. So we were talking about the address bus. So whichever memory location we want to point out, we have to have address of that particular memory location. Otherwise, where the data should go, the data wherever we want to put the data, it should go into that particular address or that particular memory location. So like we have to differentiate, if the names are similar, then we have to differentiate with the help of address. So that's why the address is important, because then only you can point out the particular person or the particular location. So here we are dealing with the memory locations, the data. So we will refer the address for that particular memory location or that particular data. So there are other buses also, data bus and control bus. So what data bus is doing? Data bus is taking the data from input output devices to the processor, or from processor to the input output devices. So address is different and data is different. Data will be situated in the memory location, and that particular memory location will be having some address. So then only we will come to know that, suppose if the memory location is 64 kilobytes, then where exactly the data of our interest is available, that will be denoted by address, and whatever is the data, that will be available on the data bus. And to control all these operations, to take the data from input devices, to transfer the data from processor to input output devices or to memory devices, you should need some controlling signals. So all these controlling signals, their bus is called as control bus. So these particular signals, they consist that a particular bus is consist of signals for selection of memory or input output devices from the given address, or it refers to the direction of data transfer, either it is from processor to input output devices, or it is from input output device to processor. So control bus is needed to control the operations, applications, control the operation of this particular microcontroller and its programming. Data bus is needed to put the data, and address bus is needed to address that particular location of the data. So these are the basic terminologies we will use henceforth. So now moving ahead, what is 8085 microprocessor? 8085 microprocessor is nothing but a single chip which is processing some data, and there are lots of applications we use in mobile phones, printers, washing machines, etc. And in advanced applications also we use in radar, satellites, flights, computers, etc. If you look at the pin structure of this particular IC, this is a 40 pin IC as I shown you in the diagram, and there are certain labels to these particular pins. These particular pins, they carry some operations, some functions. So but as we talked about the address bus and data bus, we have seen that because this is having the memory handling capacity of 64 kilobytes, so 64 kilobytes, to address the 64 kilobytes, you should need 16 address lines. Why 16 address lines? Because it is 2 raised to 16, which makes 64 kilobytes. So to address 64 kilobytes of memory locations or memory capacity, you have to have 16 address lines. So if I use, and what is the word handling capacity of 8085 microprocessor? It is 8-bit. So you should have 8 data lines. So if I use 16 address lines for addresses, and if I use 8 data lines for data, then 16 plus 8, 24 lines will go in data and address only. Then we will not be remaining with the other controlling signals or other operations, which are also most important. These pins are also most important. 2 pins are compulsory VCC to give the power supply, and 2 pins are compulsory for crystal to put the crystal of particular megahertz, so that the microprocessor or microcontroller will work on that particular frequency. So if you have 16 address lines, 8 data lines, and these all other signals, each on one pin by pin, then your IC will not be 40 pin IC. Your IC will go to 48 pin IC or 50 pin IC or so, whatever. So to reduce the pin size of microprocessor chip or microprocessor chip or microcontroller chip, there are certain pins which are assigned the multiple tasks, and there are control signals which will decide that at that particular moment what task it is doing. As you can see, we'll study this pin diagram or this microprocessor architecture in detail in next class. But just to make you know that what is this AD1, this AD1, AD2, AD3, this stands for address and data lines are multiplexed. Multiplexed means the same line is used for address and the same line is used for data. And who takes care of this demultiplexing? ALE is the signal, address latch enable signal, which takes care of this particular demultiplexing. So when this signal is high, the whatever is the status of these lines, it is referred to as address. And whenever the status of this particular line is low, this particular signal is low, then the whatever is there on this particular lines is called as data. So these are 8 lines, and these addresses are lower addresses because it is a 16 address capacity. So that means there are 2 bytes, one is lower byte and one is higher byte. So this particular address which is multiplexed with data is referred to as lower byte of the address. So with minimum number of pins, that is with 40 pins, by multiplexing the signals or having multiple operations, control signals, you can achieve more tasks with few number of pins. So this is what about the basics of this particular microprocessor. We will study that in depth because this is your first class. So I just wanted to give the introduction of this particular course. I just wanted to give because now both 2 subjects have merged together. Previously you were having 885 microprocessor in 5th semester and 8051 microcontroller in 6th semester. But from this year onwards, both the subjects are merged together and they are combined. So 40 classes will be insufficient to handle this or to complete this particular course. So what I will request you, whenever we will have our tutorial classes, we will do some programming or we will take the classes in tutorial class also. So meantime, let me take the attendance. I could see the number of participants as let me minimize this particular share my I request all of you to write your name in to write your roll number in chat box. I request all of you to write your roll number in chat box. Those who are from 18, those who are having their roll number from 18, they can write their roll number last 2 digits or last 2 digits and their name. And those who are having their roll number starting from 17, they can write their last 4 digits. And those who are having those who are from lateral entry, then they can write, yeah, you have to write like this. Very good. So whenever I will instruct you to write your attendance, then only you will write your attendance. It is not that whenever I will start the class, you will write the attendance. Why this is done? This is done because there are few students who take little more time to join, because maybe because of internet connectivity or maybe because of some other problems. So their attendance should not miss, that's why. And you should be attentive, so that's why it is not always that I will take the attendance in the beginning or I will take the attendance at the end. I may ask you in between of the class to write your to give your attendance. So if you are whoever has put their attendance in chat box, I will refer to that particular attendance because I have to submit the data also for the attendance. So I will, if anybody is having any question, they can ask me. Am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So all of you have given your attendance? Has everybody given the attendance in chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
So how many students are there?
46, ma'am.
40, but total strength is I think 68, is it? Total strength is 60, I think 68. So anybody is having any question? Anybody is having any doubt? You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Any doubt? No doubt. That means you have understood everything.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we have the slides?
Yes, I will share in your
for
WhatsApp
reference?
group. Yeah.
Okay.
I will put the slides in WhatsApp group. I will put the recording of this particular class also on website maybe, or I will share in your WhatsApp group. The link I will share in WhatsApp group. There are few students who are joining little late. So I have already told you what are the books which you can refer. I will give my notes also. I will share the copies of images of that particular handwritten notes on your WhatsApp group, or maybe to your email IDs, etc. But if you want to refer the books, you can refer any book, but I refer this particular books. For microprocessor 8085, I refer Ramesh Gavkar book, and for 8051 microcontroller, I will refer Subrata Ghoshal book, and for 886 microprocessor, I will refer Sunil Mathur's book. These three books I will be referring, but you can refer any book. You can refer the material available on internet. You can refer the material available on, you can go through the Swayam courses. You see there are lots of Swayam course MOOC are floated this time. You can opt any of your MOOC course. There is one more course, Introduction to Embedded Systems by Professor Gadre. So it is on latest microcontroller, MSP 430 microcontroller. So you can have you will get a chance to learn new microcontroller also. You can use this particular new microcontrollers in your project designing. For this particular subject also, you have to design one mini project. Each and every student has to design some mini project, and you have to submit that as an assignment. This is our first assignment, that you have to develop some small mini project. You may face the problem of components, etc., etc., but at least you design your prototype, and you can ask, you can get the components, you can order the components, or maybe we will wait. Let's hope for the best that this pandemic will get over soon, and you may join the class, you may join the college soon. So by that time, you stay safe. I think there are more students who are still joining. Maybe 43. So by that time, you stay safe, keep learning, and we will meet tomorrow at 9:50. Please try to join 5 minutes little early, because it takes time to join and to assemble all of you. So don't make so delay, because then we will not be able to complete the syllabus, because as I told you that both the subjects are merged together. So it will be little difficult for me to handle this particular course in limited number of classes. And you have your tutorial classes. For batch 1, it is on Monday, that is from 11:30, and for batch 2, it is on Tuesday, that is from 11:30. So I request all of you to please all of you, can you attend both the tutorial classes? All of you can attend the class on Monday also, the tutorial class on Monday and the tutorial class on Tuesday, if no clashing is there.
Yes, ma'am.
So because then we will be able to complete the syllabus. So your tutorial class is also your lecture class. It will on Monday it is from 11:30 to 12:20. On Tuesday it is 11:30 to 12:20, and regular classes we are having Thursday, Friday it is 9:50 to 10:40, and on Saturday it is from 11:30 to 12:20. So we will have lectures for both the classes on Monday and Tuesday also. So goodbye. Thank you so much. Anybody says,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah, if you have any doubts, you can ask me on WhatsApp also. You can keep asking me. I will share the contents. I will share the slides, PPTs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will leave the
Thank
meeting
you,
now.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, dear all. You may leave the meeting. Those who are present, they can put their cameras on.